We have a few housekeeping notes. First, remember to place your phone on mute and refrain from placing the call on hold to avoid any background noise or unnecessary interruptions. Second, we have reserved time for questions at the end of the webinar. If you have any questions, please ask them using the question function in the webinar access panel. The question box is in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Just type in your questions and we will read them aloud. Third, this webinar should take no longer than an hour and is being recorded. Check the ACCE website within the next few days for the recording and any presentation materials. Maria Acosta is the Vice President of Strategy and Business Development at ZET. She has been with the company since its inception and has 28 years of education and training experience working with a diverse group of clients. Maria, take it away.
Good morning and good afternoon. I have to say both since I am in the West Coast, which is morning time, and some of you are on the East Coast, which is afternoon. So good morning and good afternoon. So as Tanya mentioned, I am Maria. So we are going to go ahead and get started. Again, please ask your questions. Tanya and I will be kind of facilitating that at the end of the workshop, of the webinar, and we can go ahead and start. All right, so this is the agenda for today. We're going to talk about the benefits of e-learning. We're going to talk about the benefits of e-learning to businesses' bottom line, which is all the members that you serve. We're going to talk a little bit about the popular courses for small businesses. We're going to talk about our chamber affiliate program, which are the chambers that are participating. I'm going to go over a brief case study on one of our chambers, and we're going to talk a little bit about best practices to deliver courses to your members and their employees. My name is Maria. Here's a picture of me. I met some of you at the ACCE conference in Savannah. Some of you, we spoke. Others of you, I know some of our chamber executives who I didn't get a chance to speak to said that we were very busy, and we were with speaking to executives regarding our Chamber University Educational Portal program and how it works and the benefits of it. I am the Vice President of Strategy and Business Development for ZET. I've been with the company since its inception. We are actually going to be celebrating, we're celebrating 4 years this month regarding in terms of our being in business. We, though, have been creating online education for about 20 years. We started as creating online training for university, and now are doing it for corporate training. And our main kind of vertical has been our Chamber of Commerce program. I've been in higher ed and education and training for about 20 years. So I know I do not look like it, but I have. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to move some of these pieces over. Perfect. All right, so e-learning is the use of technology to enable people to learn anytime, anywhere. E-learning can include training, the delivery of just-in-time information, and guidance from experts. So all the information that I'm going to be sharing with you is not mine. I wish I could claim it and say these facts and statistics and information definitions are mine, but they're not. I wish I was that smart, but I'm not. So everything is referenced. So being in higher ed, I never plagiarize, so I always learn to reference and give credit where credit is due. So all the information that I'm sharing regarding statistics and the information that's out there regarding training specifically for employees and online training is all cited, and the resources and references are provided for you. So companies can reap the rewards of providing training for their employees because we all know, or we should know, well-trained workers help increase productivity and profits. This is especially true for small businesses, which is our clientele that we serve. There are three concepts of how e-learning solutions can appeal to employees. One is accessibility, 24/7 access. We all know with this next generation of workforce, they basically can access their information 24/7 on their smartphones, tablets, on the go. Another solution is adaptable to various learning styles. It's self-paced, so learners can learn at their own pace and in different ways. And something that's getting a lot of attention is that the e-learning is suitable for millennials with the increase of Gen Z. It's no longer Gen X, it's Gen Z. We need to adapt our learning to accommodate this new workforce. All right, so corporate training. Why is training important? So these are 10 statistics on corporate training and what they mean to a company's future. And so here is some kind of nice tidbits. As Tanya mentioned, you will get a copy of the presentation as well as the recording of the presentation. So we know that there is a direct correlation in terms of investing in training and employees feeling engaged, feeling productive. We know that if you invest in training, it does affect a business's bottom line. So for example, of the 4,300 workers, 73 felt that they weren't achieving their full potential at work. This translates that they're not feeling engaged. 1 in 3 people leave their organizations during the first year because they're not feeling engaged and productive. In addition, 56% of HR managers consider training and development to be an essential business enabler, but they didn't know kind of how to increase the training opportunities for their employees. And we all know, or data shows that employees want more training because they don't feel like they're getting enough of it. One of the interesting pieces is that investing in onboarding is critical. We all know, some of us have been business owners. Some of us work directly with our businesses and our business owners. We know the cost of recruitment, of hiring, and so onboarding is critical to a business's bottom line and future success. The cost of losing an employee in the first year can be up to 3 times that person's salary. This takes into consideration the cost of hiring. It also takes into consideration the cost of replacement, downtime, lack of productivity. And so these are all important pieces to consider. We also know that a lot of the HR managers don't believe that their current training programs meet their employees' needs. So there's 62% believe that they are not doing a good job meeting their employees' needs versus 38%. Employees now want to have more fun at work. Again, this is part of the new workforce that's coming in, and this new generation Z. It's very different than some of us who have been in the workforce for a long time and are more of a traditional workforce. They want things to be fun. They want things to be, they want to be able to do things when they want to do them at their pace. And so we have to kind of keep up if we want to be competitive and we want to succeed. So this is, in a nutshell, ineffective training costs about $13.5 million per year per 1,000 employees in total loss to a business from ineffective training. And so one of the pieces that we, ZIP Ed Tech, is we want to bring training, workforce training, adequate, appropriate, effective workforce training to businesses and corporations. All right, so let's talk about that was training in general. So that was both online and live training. So let's talk about facts and stats reveal the power of e-learning. Why use online education? And so these are kind of some nifty facts and stats that I was able to secure, and I'll be able to show you the references at the end. So we know that with online education, it takes up 40 to 60% less employee time. So when we create online training for, custom online training for companies, for our clients, we always tell them that for a typical 1 hour of live training translates to about 20 minutes of online training. That is where that reduction in the conversion of a live training to an online modality. And this takes into consideration individuals' time in terms of how they learn and how quickly they can grasp the information that's being presented to them. So 40 to 60% less employee time than learning the same material in a traditional classroom setting. That's a huge difference with regards to what your employees can be doing during the other 60 to 40% of their time that they have left after they complete their training. The other piece that's important to note that with online training, the retention rate is 25 to 60%, while the retention rate of face-to-face training are very low in comparison, 8 to 10%. That was an interesting fact when I looked at it, and I was trying to determine why is that? Why is it that someone doing it online on their computer versus someone sitting in a classroom would learn at such different, or would retain the information at such different percentages? And so, some of it is, I think, it's common sense, but in working with a lot of companies and developing training plans for their employees, and myself going through the trainings, it is, when I know that there's going to be assessments, and when I know that there's going to be reviews, and I need to be able to pay attention, then that allows me to be able to retain the information because I can go back. So something didn't make sense, I can go back and replay it. If I'm in a live training, I can't do that. I can't have the instructor say, okay, rewind, let me replay what you just said because it didn't make any sense to me. The other piece is sometimes with live training, we are not, depending on who your trainer is, the information may not be as consistent. If I'm having a bad day and I'm presenting in a live group, I may not cover the same information with the same enthusiasm and the same tone and the same accuracy as I would another day where maybe I was feeling more peppy and had a lot more energy. So the consistency isn't there. And so I think those pieces, and I think it's easier to get distracted in a live training. There's so much going on. We're looking at our phones. We're doing other pieces. Versus if I'm alone in front of a computer, I could be doing the same thing, but then I would be able to go back and say, okay, I need to go back and reread that because, I got a call or I checked my Facebook or I did whatever I responded to an email. So we want to make sure that, these were things that kind of I came up with. I'm sure you can probably come up with kind of your own in terms of why that retention rate is so high. And I think another piece is that, depending on the training, someone and how the information is presented, it may be more engaging to someone to pay attention versus, a monotonous voice kind of lecturing me and not engaging me and not interacting with me in terms of presenting the material. With e-learning, participants learn nearly 5 times more material without increasing time spent in training. And I think that ties back to kind of what I was saying in terms of, what an individual is learning while they're taking an online training and the retention and how quickly they're learning it. Because I am a pretty quick reader. I can go through a training probably quicker than somebody else who maybe, needs to take more time. So, this, of course, is on average. This is what, on average, some of the statistics show. So this is kind of more to why, right? Why should your members invest in training themselves and training their employees and utilizing online training. 42% of companies say that e-learning has led to an increase in revenue. What does that mean? I think it takes into consideration time the employees have spent. It also takes into consideration in terms of turnover retention, because well-trained employees stay. They are retained at a higher rate, and they are more productive if they're more engaged and they're more well-trained. Every dollar invested in online training results in $30 in productivity. And more than 41% of Fortune 500 companies already use some form of technology to train their employees. So the Fortune 100, Fortune 500 are using it and have been using online training to train their employees. Some of it is because they have employees all over the U.S. and all over the world, and so they need a better way to reach those employees and provide the same training as those that are in their corporate office. But this applies to small businesses, medium-sized businesses as well, because the reasons are still the same. We still have employees. We still have employees who need to be trained, who need to be provided information for compliance or professional development or personal development for different reasons. We still have to do the same. So it applies to both some of the bigger companies as well as the smaller to medium-sized businesses. Companies that use e-learning technology achieve 18% boost in employee engagement. 72% of organizations believe that the e-learning helps them increase their competitive edge by giving them the opportunity to keep up with the changes. And this is exciting for us who are in the educational technology space. Since the year 2000, the growth of e-learning industry has been 900%, and it's only increasing with the technology building upon itself. It will continue to increase in terms of the availability of online courses, of online training, and it is something that we are very much interested in terms of some of the trends that are kind of happening with online education. Revenue generated per employee is 26% higher for companies that offer training using technology, including their e-learning. So these are, staggering statistics in terms of the power of e-learning. So this is an example of a company. IBM saved approximately $200 billion after switching to online, again, because of the travel costs, bringing folks together, the employee times, all of the items I mentioned with regards to the investment that IBM made. And Britain's Open University study found that producing and providing e-learning courses consumes an average of 90% less energy and produces 85% fewer CO2 emissions per student than face-to-face. And that is because, traveling to go to a live training, the paper, just lots of resources that are used to have a live training versus doing it online. And here are my sources. As I mentioned, I was going to be able to do that to show you, these are the statistics in terms of the information that I gave you. It's not Maria giving you those stats. It's really, these are all common stats that are accepted by our industry. All right, so to summarize, the importance of training and development in the workplace, and specifically the power of e-learning: improved employee performance, increased productivity for that employee, investment in training increases revenue, direct correlation, reduction in turnover, especially during first year, saves a business a lot of money, increased employee satisfaction, increases engagement, which then increases productivity, which then increases revenue for a business. E-learning is a new way to attract and retain Gen Z. This is our new workforce that is joining us and will continue to join us for the next decade. E-learning is the new norm for training of employees with the increase, the 900% since the year 2000. It is the new way of training. Overall, it positively correlates to a business's bottom line by not just of how it affects its employees, productivity, but the reduction in time and cost of live trainings when a company offers that. All right, what type of e-learning courses are preferred? So this is what we statistically and what we're also seeing within our delivering of our training is 55% of the trainings are compliance-based. This can include anything from OSHA, sexual harassment, continuing education for a license. So 55% of the types of courses are compliance-based. 25% is skill improvement. So this tends to be anything Adobe, Word, improving a skill set, customer service type of course. 15% is personal development. I just want to take the course, the training, because I want to take it. There's no real reason. I just want to, enhance my own personal development. And then 5 is other, which could be anything else. So for the majority of the trainings, we're looking at 80% is tied to compliance or skill improvement, which directly correlates to a employee or an individual, how they perform at work, how they stay abreast of changes within their job specifically or their license requirements. All right, so let's talk a little bit about how we bring that power of e-learning to your chamber members, small to medium-sized businesses who may not have the resources to invest in a very expensive HRIS system or a learning management system that manages a business's training program. So we built the chamber program. We launched it at Montreal about a year ago. It was just a proof of concept at that time. So we brought it to the chambers, got really good positive feedback. Within that next 6 months, we developed the program, started really honing in on the benefits, the pluses, really developing the program and what chamber executives and chamber staff needed. So within the last 6 months, I would say, is when we really have launched the program, have had chambers really market the program to their membership. And so what we set out to do was to provide the chambers an effective workforce training tool that they can offer to their members and their members' employees. So it's not just for the members. It's for the members, for the businesses that comprise your chamber, is to give those small to medium-sized businesses available, affordable training that will help them stay in business and not only stay in business, but grow their business, which is why most businesses or business owners join a chamber. They want that support, that networking. They want those benefits that come with really increasing their bottom line and being, marketing their business and having that support of the chamber. So we position the chamber as the go-to place for training, and specifically with our program, specifically online training. And so that we always, and you'll see when I show you one of our chambers' page and kind of how they're marketing to their members, it is our goal to kind of be the wizard behind the curtain, be behind the scenes, and really promote the chamber as that chamber that's bringing a business training, so that when a business or a chamber member needs training, they're going to say, oh, I remember I got an e-blast or a notification that my chamber is providing training. I want to see what the library has and see if they have the training I'm looking for myself or for my employees. So our training is provided via Chamber's e-learning portal, Chamber University Educational Portal. We provide a link to the Chamber, who then embeds it in their Chamber website. I'm going to show you what that looks like. Our training is delivered via a learning management system. And what that means is if someone were to do a training or to look up something on YouTube, because we all basically Google everything at this point, so we look at a video and on YouTube on how to do something. The difference is with a learning management system, even though there might be a video within the training, the learning management system is able to provide not only the video, but is able to provide assessments and reviews and documentation and analytics that validates the learning that has occurred, so that it's not just a watch the video. How do I know that I watched the video entirely? How do I know that I grasped the information that the video was attempting to show me? How do I assess the knowledge that was gained? That's the beauty of a learning management system. It tracks all of that. And when you as a business owner provide training to your employees, you know that your employees are not just learning, but the information that they're learning is being validated. And there's a certificate of completion at the end of the training to validate that through an assessment. So it's not just a video that someone watches, but there's actually engagement and there's validation via an assessment tool. So we have currently we have a curated library of over 1,000 courses in a variety of subject areas. Some of the courses we've built ourselves through subject matter experts, where we've partnered with a security individual or a private investigator in terms of our active shooter training, or lawyers for some of our compliance trainings on meal breaks and rest breaks. And also, I always get that question from chamber executives: how are you getting your content? Who's vetting it? Who's validating it? And so we vet and validate the trainings that we ourselves create for our clients, but also we've partnered with some very well-known and very well-respected content providers who provide that training, who are subject matter experts in their field. For example, UL, Universal Laboratories. UL is known for workplace safety, and so they do a lot of workplace safety and training, and so we have that entire library as part of a chamber's learning portal. The revenue share opportunity for a chamber is 25% of net sales. So this is a way for a chamber to have non-dues revenue with zero investment on their end, because we take care of all of it. We ask for a 1-year agreement. And what's our newest best practice, and I'll go through it in a little bit more, is where chambers can offer to members via sponsorship, where they can sponsor courses as a chamber, or they can get a corporate sponsor to offer a library, maybe 3 to 5 courses to each of the members, and this could be viewed as a members-only benefit and something that can be provided very easily via the chamber's educational portal. Who's participating? That's all. We always get that popular question: who is part of our program? So we have lots here, some of the logos of some of our chambers. We couldn't put all of them on here. We have right now about 20 that are in progress in terms of our chambers. A lot in California, since we are located in California, and that's kind of where we started. It was much easier for us to visit a chamber's office and present our program versus doing a WebEx and showing the program, to someone in New York or Florida. So we have, most of our chambers are in California, but we have chambers all over the U.S. The biggest influence of success is consistent marketing by a chamber. We provide you the marketing material which includes weekly e-blasts, Facebook, Twitter posts, and promos and free courses. So I'm actually going to go ahead and get off my the presentations. I'm going to show you. These are some of our chambers. So I went ahead and pulled them. So I'm going to start from the top. So we have Alabama, Arkansas, Arizona, lots of California, as you can see, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Illinois, Louisiana, Maine, Minnesota, Missouri, North Carolina, New Jersey, New Mexico, Nevada, Ohio, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Texas, Utah, Virginia, Washington, Wyoming. So as you can see, we have a very wide list of chambers that are participating in our chamber program. All right, so let's take a look at a chamber. So this is the Wayne County Chamber. They actually launched about 2 months ago. This is their main website. So they decided to go ahead and put in a tab called eLearning. So I'm going to actually take you to their website so you can kind of see what it looks like. See if I can do this. All right, so let's go to their website. And so what we do is we provide you the link. You then look at and I walk you through the whole steps of creating this. And so usually during our first demo, I will go through your website and kind of see where should we put the link or where would be a good place. Every chamber has done it differently. And so they put it here under eLearning. They then created a landing page. Some of our chambers have not done that. So this is the landing page that's here. We've given them all of this information. After we launch a chamber, we send over the initial pieces, or there's 6 pieces of marketing we send you that has all of this information. I always tell chambers, please feel free to go ahead and use the information however you deem appropriate. So there's blogs, there's Twitter posts, there's Facebook posts, all introducing press releases, all introducing the Chamber University program to its membership. So, okay, this closed down, so that's, okay, so we'll go back in here. Okay, eLearning, so I'll show you how a member gets there. So they click on the eLearning piece, and then where it says visit, learn more, visit our catalog, you click on that. This is now they're basically being redirected to the Wayne County's Chamber of Commerce educational portal. Oops. Oh, let's go back. Here it is. I had it. Okay, so this is the Wayne County's portal. As you can see, these are the different categories on this side. Lots of different categories with regards to different trainings. We actually just offered 2 webinars. One was an active shooter webinar, and one was our retail webinar to all of our chambers and their membership to come and listen to a subject matter expert speak to it, and then offered the course. So these are the types of courses that are here. Lots of different courses and subject areas, and you can scroll down or you can go through a category. The nice thing is that you're able to customize your library. So there's a specific, we had a couple of chambers who had in-house folks who provided Google Doc training or did some social media pieces, and they didn't want to have any training that competed directly with their members. So we went ahead and removed those courses. There's also some chambers who do not feel comfortable or do not feel like it's a good play for them to offer the transgender awareness course. We're very sensitive to that, and so we want to make sure that you're able to not have that should you not want that for your membership. So this is something I always tell new chambers as they're joining us. Look at the categories, see if there's anything that you do not want, because we will put the entire library in your portal and not include those that you do not want to be on there. So that's the Wayne County's program. This is, again, a sample of what it looks like with regards to Wayne County. I just did a snapshot. So let's talk a little bit about results. That's always something I get, especially when I was in Savannah. What are the results? So this is for a Chamber of Commerce that was launched in August, who used all our marketing material and support that we provided them, e-blast, e-newsletter, Facebook, Twitter. They used all of the information. Within the first 2 months of launching and introducing it to the membership, they generated $600 or over $600 in revenue. So this was revenue that they secured with zero investment. So the only investment that they made was putting the link onto their page and then adding the information that they received from us to their members' communication, whether it's Facebook or e-blast or their newsletter. So they were able to secure that within the first 2 months. And I don't know if you, when I was going through the catalog, if you see the price points on the courses are pretty small. So the course pricing ranges anywhere from $8 to $100. So depending on what someone was purchasing, it would be a lot of courses. So I'm actually going to show you now what the reports looks like. So this is what this chamber's report looked like. So within the first 2 months, these are the type of courses that they purchased, their membership. So I, didn't put someone's first name. So this is the kind of courses. So lots of, skill development, some compliance courses. You see on the PowerPoint 2013, we did a free course promo that they sent out to their membership, and we had, 3 individuals who purchased it. You also see that there's someone by the last name of Lacotte who purchased Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator and the InDesign. There's Dubosky who purchased the Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator. So lots of the Adobe products that are being sold. Some of the individuals who purchased courses, they actually were able to purchase them and then actually assign them to their employees within our system. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to show you that really quick. I believe it's, oops. So within our portal, you're able to easily assign courses to your employees, monitor their progress. I'm actually not going to show you that this minute. I'm going to go ahead and finish the presentation. And then ask that if anyone wants to actually see how our training portal and the learning management system actually works, that they contact me. I'll give you my contact information in a second. All right. So this is the view of the marketing support that we're providing. These are the 2 of the e-blasts that we've sent over to our chamber members, to our chamber team, and they have sent it out to their membership. There's about 20 chambers who we actually send out on behalf of the chamber. We send out these HTML blasts where we give them a free course or we give them a highly reduced course with a promo code. And so these are the different types of supports. We do not expect our chamber our chambers to create these pieces. We do it for you and send it out to you. If there's a specific need you have and we're not providing it for you in terms of marketing, you just have to let us know. We have a team in our corporate office who handles all of this for our chambers. We have quite a few folks that are specifically dedicated to our chamber program to ensure that the marketing that's going out to the membership is effective. We want to make sure that we support the chambers. Who else to provide that information but us, who know online training, online education. So we do all of these pieces for you. One of the pieces that I always get asked, and I'm starting to build a best practice with some of our chambers now that we've launched the program and are in full swing with quite a few, is how do we deliver the training to your members and their employees? And so, of course, it's through the e-commerce, through the educational portals where members can purchase courses directly from your chamber page. The other two have been best practices that we just started launching. And we talked a little bit about this with some of our chambers in Savannah, where we secure a corporate sponsor to, could be for the whole year, could be for 6 months, however, we want to do this. Usually it's a whole year where a corporate sponsor like Verizon or Walmart or Sam's Club can sponsor 5 courses on your page to every single chamber member. The price point, of course, is highly reduced because of the volume, and it's something that could be utilized to introduce the program, give your members that extra benefit of being a member by saying, at the renewal time, or even for new members, as a new member, you will get 5 courses. These are the 5 courses you will get. This is brought to us by Walmart, who is our sponsor of our educational training for this year. And this is something that we can work out a specific package to decide which courses should be part of that and work with you on a price point. And this could actually be something that one of your corporate sponsors can do instead of maybe doing a luncheon. I actually talked to a chamber yesterday, to a chamber exec who said she was looking at her schedule for the chamber event schedule for next year and wanted to reduce her luncheons because there was only 30 people, and the amount of work and securing a space and securing a speaker was just, wasn't, the ROI wasn't there. And so one of the pieces I mentioned to her, I said, one of your sponsors who's been sponsoring your lunches, maybe use one of those lunches to have them for the same cost sponsor the library for the entire year for your membership. How valuable would that be to provide that to your members? The other, we had another chamber who said they didn't want to do that with the corporate sponsors. They wanted to sponsor it. They were going to reduce an event, or they were going to shift some funds around, and they themselves were going to sponsor 5 courses, a library, a subscription for a year for their membership at renewal time, or for new members as a way to attract and retain the membership. So there's different creative ways that we can do to introduce the program to your membership, to allow us to increase adoption for the program for your members. The other piece I want to talk about is, and we stress this to all our new chambers who are coming on board, is to remind your members that this is not just for them. That we are bringing this, the chamber is bringing this to them, but we want them to be able to bring this down to their employees, so that it's not just for the business owner, but it's also for the employees that are employed by the business owners that are your members. So we want to encourage your members to provide the learning opportunities for their teams, managers, and staff, and develop training plans for specific positions. We just saw the statistics of businesses who train their employees and the benefits in terms of increased productivity and their bottom line and their increase in revenue. So we want to share that with our members so they can then really bring this to their employees themselves. You know, we all know that usually there's one or two folks from each organization, from each business that are part of your e-blast and part of your invitations, but we want to keep reminding our members to, you know, bring this to their employees as a benefit of being employed at their company, and they can tell them that the chamber is bringing this to them as well. We want to make sure that we have had, you know, Wayne County specifically has sent us quite a bit of referral business with regards to, they had a big association and a big company who wanted training for their employees, and actually one of their cities, and so they get any opportunities that come from your membership that are aside from purchasing courses on their portal. There's a 10% referral fee that's given to the chamber for bringing us that new client that has, you know, created their own university page or has created their own courses or is bringing a subscription library to their business outside of the chamber portal. So this is something that is also important to note. All right, so we're kind of winding down here. So this is, I love this quote. You know, I think this is very true from some of the information I just covered. You know, tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, but if you involve me in online education, I'm adding, then I learn. So I want to go ahead and thank you for your time. Again, my name is Maria. Here's my contact information. Here's my email. One important thing to note, Zip EdTech is the company that brings this to you. Zip Mart is the same company. It's just our delivery. It's where our marketplace is. It's where we deliver online education. So it's our delivery platform. And so I want to make sure that, you know, you kind of see both names because it represents us. It represents Zip EdTech. Zip Mart is our company. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and see if there's any questions that I can answer for you.
Thank you so much, Maria, for that informative presentation. And as you said, we are opening this up to questions. So feel free, everyone, again, to use that question function box at the bottom of your screen and shoot over any questions that you may have of Maria.
Wow, I was that good, Tanya?
Yeah, you have one from at the bottom of your screen from Laura Merrill.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Sorry. So I actually have two. Have you considered implementing an eLearning for your test chamber? Okay, this is very challenging. Okay. All right, so Laura Merrill, was the 600 total sales in May 25, or was the 600 their actual income? Good question. So the way that it kind of works is 600 was their total sales. So what you saw there were their actual sales that they came from their educational portal. And so what we do with the 600 is we then that's our gross, and then so the net sale is basically we share the profit that we receive. So we pay our content provider, which is anywhere from 10 to 20% of the fee, and then what's remainder is what is then given, is shared with the chamber at a 25% rev share of the net sale. But as I've kind of mentioned, you know, they didn't, I mean, this is non-dues rev. This is something that's coming in for, you know, that came in for a 2-month period. And so, you know, it's something that they wouldn't have had otherwise. So, you know, it may seem small, but they're just starting. And, you know, we've seen some really great marketing and pieces with them. So it's, you know, something definitely to consider. How often are new courses added to the library? Good question, Lori. So we add courses every month. Right now, we're in the process of actually adding a couple. We are actually adding a food handling course that will be up and running next week. We have an active shooter course that is being put on the chamber pages within the next 3 weeks. We have a alcohol beverage server training that's going to be put on next week. So it just kind of depends. Sometimes there's a lot depending on our content provider, but sometimes it's just one-offs where we're building a course or we're building it for a client. So it just depends on the month. At the end of the year, it's kind of slowing down, so there's less and less courses. Yes. Okay. Good question, Tony. Can we create our own training videos to host? Absolutely. So the portal is yours. We've had chambers that say, if we had our own content, can we put that on there? Absolutely, you can. We will look at the content, see what you want, see if it's just the video you want to put on there. So those are all custom courses. And if you want a course, if you want handouts, if you want any of the pieces that we create for other courses, if you want that, someone says a board orientation or a new member orientation, these are all things we can do. And so there might be a small charge for that, depending on what the workload is going to be for us to be able to put that. But the portal's there. It can be put on your page and no one else's. It's, it'll be in your portal. Good question, Lori. So, I didn't touch on it. I had it in my notes. So right now, because we have a partnership with ACCE, the ACCE chambers, there is a 0 setup fee till the end of the year. And so after that, there will be a setup fee. And for non-ACCE chambers, there is a setup fee of $500. So there's a $500 to set it up. We also, if a chamber wants to host or have a small library available for free and they want to purchase it, we waive the setup fee. So basically, you're paying for the setup fee in classes. So, but for ACCE chambers, we are not charging anything at this time. So, but I will send you all a reminder, you have to sign up by the end of the year. Good question. Can I take a couple of classes for free to check the quality of the courses? So I always get asked this question. So what I've done is there are, if you want to look at the library and pick a course that you want to see, usually I will give you a 1-week access to the course, and then it'll be removed from your portal or from your account. So yeah, we can give you access to the course, but it is actually just a trial access. So absolutely. So the way that the next steps, so anybody that's interested, here's my email, email me, and we'll set up a demo. I may set up a group demo for anybody that's on this call, where we actually go into the portal. I actually will show you some of the courses. You can say, Maria, it's very informal, so you can say, Maria, show me the sexual harassment or the intro to OSHA or the cybersecurity course or the retail course, and then I could actually show you some of it as well, and I actually show you the reporting piece. That's one of the things that I didn't get asked this time, is what's the reporting, how does that work? And so if you or you have a team member who, can, that wants access to your portal in terms of the back end of reports, we are more than happy to give you real-time access to your reports, to your purchase, to the activity, so that you can take a look at who's purchasing the courses. Are they members? Can you reach out to them if they're not members and say, this is something we're adding, for members only? Most of our chambers we've asked that they put it on an open platform. There's some chambers who put it on their members only, the link on their members only, and they don't get as much visibility as the ones that put it on the open link. So, so there's just different ways we can do it. So yeah, I probably will be scheduling a demo next week, probably within 2 weeks, of anyone that's interested, but just contact me so I know what that looks like and then set that up with you. And then you can invite your teams to actually demo the portal and ask the questions in a more kind of less formal manner. Great question, Heather. What's the process? So for those of you who talked to me in Savannah, maybe have sat in on a demo, because I actually did a demo the last time I did one for ACCE, and are ready to sign up, just email me. I'll send you an agreement, and then we will need a high-resolution logo. We will also need a short narrative of your chamber that is put onto your page, and that's it. So if I get the agreement, the logo, and the short narrative, you can be up and running within a week in terms of having your page up, setting up your marketing pieces. So yeah, it's a pretty quick process once we have all the pieces from you to get that going. Yes, Giselle, this is free. So there is, people always ask me, it's only free to ACCE chambers. I want to clarify that. So if you're not an ACCE chamber, there is a $500 setup fee. If you are an ACCE chamber, you're on this call, you email me, yes, it is free. There is no charge for the program.
And Maria, I think
you must act now. You must act now before the end of the year.
Maria, I think we have time maybe for one more question.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Dexter, great question. Who are your content providers and how are they chosen? So right now, I want to show you this because it's kind of cool. All right, so let's go to Wayne County because I think. All right, so here it tells you who our content provider is. So we have 615. This is a very renowned retail trainer in. They're out of Australia. But if you click on the pub, so you look at the course, you click on the course, it takes you to the course page, the course detail, and it gives you information regarding, gives you a preview, and then it tells you who 615 is. And so it tells you who they are, kind of a little history on them, so that you feel comfortable with them as a content provider. We are the only distributor of 615 courses, and I have to tell you, I've taken these courses, and I'm not in retail, but they are amazing courses. They are, the content is awesome. Transgender Business Services, they did our transgender course. We have LearnSmart, who's done our courses for some of our kind of business-related courses, and then we have UL. It should be on here. So let's do safety. So we have UL, who is our workplace training. So if you look at ammonia and you looked at UL here, they are the #1 provider of workplace safety, OSHA training, and they have, lots of clients. They're underwriters, laboratories. So we vetted all of our content providers to ensure that the content is accurate. We've actually pulled courses from like our LearnSmart, who are maybe dated courses. We've pulled some of those. So we really, we put ourselves out there in terms of making sure that the content is accurate. For like sexual harassment and some of our compliance courses, those have been vetted by lawyers because it does need to meet certain state requirements for sexual harassment. We do a really thorough job with our vetting for our content providers. So not just anybody. We're not a Udemy. We're not a lynda.com where just anybody can put courses. We really handpick, cherry pick our courses to ensure that it meets the needs of our clients. Okay, thank you so much, Maria, again, for this
wonderful webinar, and thank you for taking the time to answer so many of the great questions that have come out of this discussion. Again, everyone, thank you to the audience for attending this webinar, and wherever you may be, have a wonderful day.
Thank you again.
Thanks, Maria.